There's absolutely nothing wrong with being an overthinker. I actually think that you should be glad that you're an overthinker, because there's basically no alternative. You either overthink or you don't think at all. There's nothing in between. And I at least rather be an overthinker than be someone who doesn't think at all. The only problem with overthinking is that we don't know how to use it. We think it is a burden and we think it's something that is holding us back. While in fact, if we use it correctly, it can actually help us to make a lot more progress. So we only need to find out how to use it in the correct way and how it can benefit us. And if you are an overthinker, then you're just an overthinker. If you think, that means that you will overthink. It's as simple as that. And we cannot somehow stop thinking. And also, why would you want to stop thinking? And maybe there are some situations where you think that not thinking is better than overthinking. But then again, it's either one of these both. It's not something that sometimes you can overthink and sometimes you cannot think or stop thinking at all. There's no way to do so. It's either you always overthink or you never think. And I have heard that there are people who don't even have an internal conversation. And when I think about it, that is something that I really don't want to have. So I'm glad that I'm an overthinker. And again, we should look and come up with ways to use that instead of seeing it as a burden, instead of seeing it as something that's dragging us back or holding us back. And we learn things through thinking things through. We make progress and we improve ourselves by asking questions. Why does something work in a certain way? What is someone trying to tell me? Is this information going to bring me closer to my goal or to where I'm heading? Or is this making it worse for me, making it more difficult for me? Do I need to believe what someone else is trying to tell me here? Do you need to believe what I am trying to tell you here? By asking these questions, we gain more and more knowledge. And by gaining that knowledge, we improve ourselves, we get smarter, and we can make better decisions and better choices. But if we don't think, that means that we'll blindly accept everything. And blindly accepting things means that it will lead us nowhere. And in the worst case, it might even mean that people will take advantage of us. And that's at least something I really don't want to be taken of. So I'd rather be someone that thinks too much about things than someone that doesn't think enough about things and just be some kind of robot that just says yes and no, whichever way the wind blows, and just be this empty vessel that knows nothing about anything. And the only thing that makes a difference is to take action on those thoughts, to try and put something into practice. That's where overthinking becomes a blessing. That's where you can benefit from overthinking, because we always need that feedback. We can only learn something by gaining feedback. And if we don't try anything out, it will only stay in our heads, and that's when it becomes a burden. That's when we get frustrated, and that's when we think that it is holding us back. But if we try something out, that's the only way for us to get some feedback. And if you are an overthinker, that's actually very good, because whatever feedback you get, you will also overthink that feedback. And by gaining that feedback and by thinking about it, you now know what to do. So you try something out, it works, you get feedback, you now know, okay, it works, I need to do more of that. But on the other hand, you try something out, it didn't work, you also got that feedback, but now you have like 20 or 30 other things to try out. Or you try to do it in a different way to see if it works in a different way. And that's the biggest differentiator. And the people that try a lot of things but don't think those things through, they also get feedback, but they don't do anything with it. So they keep making the same mistakes, or even if something works, they didn't realize why it worked, and they cannot do it again. And that's, in my opinion, the biggest differentiator. And that's why we need that feedback. And we can only get that feedback by putting those thoughts into action. And the real problem, in my opinion, and from my own experience, is being scared, being afraid, cowardice, not trying or not daring to take some action, not daring to try and put something into practice. But again, we can only know if our ideas or our thoughts were correct or if they were good by trying and by gaining that feedback. And if we can combine trying with overthinking that feedback, that is when we can get absolute great results, I believe. And if we are afraid, And if we don't dare to try, that's also where not overthinkers are going to surpass us, because they put something into action and they actually tried. So overthinking is great. There's no problem at all with overthinking. The only problem there is not to do anything with it, not put anything into practice, not try anything out. And if you're an overthinker, then use it. Do something with it. Take something from benefit of it, and don't be scared, because fear and being afraid is the only real restraint here. And that is my perspective. Those are my experiences. Let us know about yours. Let us know about your opinion. Share them in the comments. Send me a message, whatever. And if you found this video beneficial, then please share it with others. That would be very much appreciated. And for now, thank you very much for listening.